Right now on IUSTV News, President Trump has sent a blockade to the Strait of Hormuz after failed negotiations with the Iranian government.
Plus, how Governor Braun's PAC is targeting Republicans who voted against his redistricting plan in Indiana.
But first, closures could change the newsroom landscape in Indiana. What we know ahead.
Let me tell you, it sure was a warm one here in Bloomington yesterday. Not sure if that's going to continue, or at least it's not going to be as warm as it was. More about that in just a couple minutes.
We start tonight with the rapid closures in Indiana newsrooms. Thanks for joining us. I'm Lara Kinane.
And I'm Mara Nicholson. Indianapolis NBC affiliate WTHR is feared to be shutting its doors after another station, WRTV, laid off hundreds of employees without warning.
Circle City's broadcasting recent layoffs at WRTV has sparked a debate over the future of local coverage. While the company has not released a formal statement on the reductions, local media advocates argue that fewer reporters will mean less oversight of public meetings and slower safety updates for Hoosiers.
Young journalists are really worried that the jobs aren't going to be there. Those who just got jobs in journalism, I think they're worried that they stand to potentially lose their jobs because of these consolidations.
Make sure to keep an eye out for any changes that might happen in your local newsroom and follow local news stations to keep up on social media and stay up to date.
After failed negotiations and ceasefires, President Trump has sent the U.S. Navy to blockade the Strait of Hormuz. The blockade began on Monday morning, stopping ships from entering or exiting the strait as an attempt to leverage the Iranian government. Trump posted the announcement on Truth Social, exclaiming that Iran will never have a nuclear weapon and that any boats that come by the blockade will be destroyed. There has been no set timeline for the blockade as the conflict between Iran and America continues on.
Governor Mike Braun's PAC is looking to take down those who oppose redistricting in Indiana. The Hope Super PAC is expected to spend $500,000 funding primary challengers to Republicans who voted no on redistricting back in December. This is a very unusual move for a sitting governor who is also planning to endorse these challengers publicly. This comes as other groups have also announced plans to put millions of dollars into their races.
An IU junior is suing Indiana for the right to use a school ID as a valid identification to use when voting. IU student Josh Montagna joined a lawsuit against Diego Morales, Indiana's Secretary of State, last May. The lawsuit looks at the Senate Enrolled Act 10. This act prohibits the use of university-issued student ID cards as a valid form of identification. Montagna teamed up with an advocacy group, Count Us In and Women's for Change Indiana, to argue that this ban targets young voters. The most recent update for the lawsuit was an injunction denial request from the Indiana Attorney General's office, meaning that the court rejects any motion to stop an action currently. Students in Indiana are still unable to use their student IDs as a valid way to vote. All right, let's turn to weather now. Lara, I don't know what is going on. Every weekend it is like super, super hot, and then every weekend is rainy.
It's absolutely insane. I did not bring sunscreen with me this weekend, and I got burnt to a crisp.
Yes, it is a horrible time. I never know if I need umbrellas or if I need sunscreen.
Maybe Graham could give us a little insight about that. What should we be packing this weekend?
Well, if that's your take on the weather right now, you're not going to like what I'm going to have to tell you. Let's take a look at what we're dealing with right now. You're going to see it really kind of in those, kind of low to mid 80s. Of course, Bloomington is pretty hot. I got to tell you, I was walking from my apartment to my car, only outside for about 30 seconds before my drive here, almost sweating just from those 30 seconds. It is hot out. But if we take a look overnight, it cools down a little bit. I mean, you see it's going to, finally drop below 80 around 9 p.m. Get to 78, and then dropping to those lower 70s once we get to the wee hours of the morning, down to 72 at 3 a.m. But if we go to that morning dog walk time, first of all, I just want to say, look at this cute dog. This is Finn. He's my parents' dog. We just got him a couple weeks ago. He's 11 weeks old, and I know he would love a morning walk at this temperature, getting into the low 70s, and even down at 8 a.m. getting into that nice temperature of 69 degrees. But coming up, we got some more clouds, and we're going to be getting some rain as well, which is a bit unfortunate, but it is going to stay warm. Not as warm as we're seeing today, but it's still going to be up there in the 70s and 60s. And then once again, more rain, and then it's going to definitely cool off quite a bit in the evening. But that's all I've got for now. Back to you guys at the desk.
Still ahead, Indianapolis State Police are still investigating the death of a 50-year-old inmate.
Plus, we have an update on the new location for the jail cell in North Park.
And coming up next, a court case in Colorado could impact conversion therapy laws, how it connects to a local LGBTQ prom. We'll have details when we get back.
A Supreme Court decision in Colorado is sparking some new conversations about the future of LGBTQ rights across the country.
But here in Bloomington, one campus event is giving students a space to find community amid that uncertainty. I spoke with members of the Queer Student Union to get their perspective on what that means for them. Everybody remembers their high school prom. The dressing up, the dancing, and getting to hang out with all of your friends.
It's a collaboration between the LGBTQ Culture Center and the Queer Student Union. It's very much us all working together to create an event like this for the students.
The event, a queer prom, was designed to be a space where students can simply be themselves.
Yeah, so I think it's no news to anyone that being LGBTQ+ is under attack right now. We're facing a lot of really bad legislation that's targeting our lives. And so it's really important for students to have a space to sort of just come together and just enjoy being themselves.
I think right now, especially in this political climate, as a queer and a trans person, it is so important that we celebrate ourselves.
And this celebration is happening at a time when LGBTQ+ rights are at the center of a major legal debate. In the case of Childs v. Salazar, the U.S. Supreme Court sided with a Colorado therapist challenging a ban on conversion therapy for minors, ruling the law may violate her free speech rights. Indiana had already adopted this law back in 2023, effectively banning the banning of conversion therapy on a statewide level.
Queer joy is resistance to, in a world that doesn't want us to exist and be ourselves and enjoy life. Coming out and doing something to where we are enjoying life and being ourselves is, to me, really powerful.
For many here, this time spent together is more than just a party.
And events like this really show people that they are welcome, that they're valued, and that they're thought of, and that's not something that happens a lot.
As legal battles such as this one continue across the country, spaces like this one offer something simple, a chance to feel seen and accepted by your peers. Students say events like this continue to fill a gap, creating spaces where they can feel safe and included.
Detectives are investigating the death of a 50-year-old inmate at the Miami Correctional Facility. The man has been identified as Sean Booker. Detectives are being assisted by the Miami County Coroner's Office alongside the correctional facility investigators. An autopsy will soon reveal the manner of death.
A new jail meant to replace Monroe County's current facility is facing a setback. Plans to build a new justice center on a site near State Road 46 between Ellettsville and Bloomington has been rejected after county council members declined to fund the land purchase. The proposed facility includes 404 beds, including 60 mental health beds and 20 holding cells, a new sheriff's office, and more at an estimated cost of $91.5 million to $106 million. The Monroe County Council is now evaluating potential properties as the search for the final site continues. For more information, visit the Monroe County government website.
Monroe County deputies have arrested 2 people in connection with an armed burglary at a Bloomington business. Officers pulled over Abigail Moon and Tyler Yates, who are both 32 years old, early Easter Sunday for expired plates. But a search by a K9 FIGO revealed drugs, a handgun, and stolen inventory from a March 23rd robbery. The pair now faces level 2 felony charges, which carries a maximum penalty of 30 years in prison. Court dates have not yet been set.
And now we're back with Graham DeWitt at the desk. Graham, that was a really cute dog earlier. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Yes,
you.
although the weather was a little disappointing. So does it get any better?
Short answer, no. Long answer, allow me to explain. Let's go back to what we got for the current temps here. As I said, it's kind of in the low to mid 80 range, very hot outside at the moment. But let's get it to Thursday. It does cool up quite a bit. You're going to see about, 5 degrees cooler for the most part, kind of getting down to that 77, 76 range. So a lot cooler than the 80s we are seeing today and probably tomorrow, just going to warm up on Thursday. But then we get to Saturday. Take a look at that. It's also going to be in the 70s, there, but you get a look at 5. It's going to be raining quite a bit, and that's the other thing. It's going to be raining a lot, pretty much all of Thursday as well. That's the other spot where we're going to be seeing rain this weekend. But let's take a look at that 7-day here, if my clicker would work. There it is. Okay, that was bizarre. But anyway, as you see, we've got it in the mid-80s as a high for that Tuesday, Wednesday. Thursday gets down to 76, but then back up to 84 on that Friday, and then back to the 70s on that Saturday, and then get into the 60s that Sunday and Monday. And as I said, rain on Thursday and Saturday. So,
Graham, I'm not going to lie to you. That sounds really bad and really unfortunate.
Yeah, I am sorry, but definitely take an umbrella with you that Thursday, Saturday, but be ready to have sunscreen as well.
Oh, good point. All right, thanks, Graham. Next in sports, Julian Zielinski is standing by with the latest in IU basketball, the NBA playoffs, and the Little 500.
History at Augusta. After a back-and-forth affair that saw a competitive final round, Rory McIlroy found pay dirt once again at the Masters. Meanwhile, April showers means playoff basketball. The NBA regular season wrapped up this past Sunday, and now the grueling playoff push begins, and we have all the storylines. Finally, after a first year of highs and lows for coach Darren DeVries at IU, the Hoosiers will look to build their roster once again from the transfer portal, with the team already securing commitments from impact players. Hello and welcome to sports. I'm Julian Zielinski. History at the Masters made over the weekend as Rory McIlroy secured his second green jacket in 2 years. Despite an historic round on Friday where McIlroy shot a 65 to give him the largest 36-hole lead through 2 rounds in Masters history, on Sunday he found himself beginning the day as the co-leader with Cameron Young. While reclaiming the lead after a double bogey on 4, McIlroy was able to keep former champion Scottie Scheffler and Justin Rose chasing for a majority of the day. After securing the Grand Slam at Augusta last year, McIlroy finds himself in elite company, with his win at becoming only the 4th golfer in history to win back-to-back Masters, along with Jack Nicklaus, Tiger Woods, and Nick Faldo. From the greens to the hardwood, the NBA playoffs are set, and the matchups bring a multitude of storylines. In the Eastern Conference, a new #1 seed has emerged as Cade Cunningham and the Detroit Pistons look to bring the Motor City their first championship since 2004. Across the coast, LeBron James, the King, looks to have one more historic playoff performance while leading a depleted Lakers squad as both Luka Doncic and Austin Reeves have been dealing with injuries since the end of the regular season. Speaking of injuries, Jason Tatum looks to bounce back after tearing his Achilles against the Knicks last season, and Victor Wembanyama looks to get back to full strength from a rib contusion to lead a championship-hopeful San Antonio Spurs squad. From the pros to the college ranks, the transfer portal is now open as over 2,600 players will look to find new homes this spring. For IU men's basketball, the offseason started with an unexpected departure of 6 players into the portal, including junior guard Nick Dorn. With only sophomore Trent Sisley being the only returning player for head coach Darren DeVries, the Hoosiers wanted to waste no time getting their guys in the portal. On Monday, the Hoosiers secured 3 commitments. 6'5" guard Darren Harris from Duke will be looking to break out after not getting much playing time with the Blue Devils. Meanwhile, more proven commodities, including former Georgia Tech guard Jaden Mustaf and former ACC leading scorer Marcus Burton, who spent the last 3 years at Notre Dame, where he only got to play in 10 games last year due to injury. It's April, and that means it's Little 500 season here at IU. Our Kellen Murphy has what you need to know.
Hey Hoosiers, now that qualifications finished on March 28th, the stage is set for the 38th Women's Little 500 on Friday, April 24th at 4 p.m. and the 75th Men's Little 500 on Saturday, April 25th at 2 p.m. Bloomington can expect over 25,000 people coming to town, making it the world's greatest college weekend. The qualification race was a 1-mile race where each rider bikes 1 lap and teams get 3 attempts to get the best possible time. Kappa Alpha Theta claimed the top spot in women's qualifications with a time of 2 minutes and 43.88 seconds, beating Teeter Cycling in second and Alpha Chi Omega in third. Meanwhile, the top 3 men's teams were cutters with a time of 2 minutes and 25.711 seconds, and closely following were Sigma Alpha Epsilon and Phi Gamma Delta. The number 1 teams get the desired pole position on the track for the start of the official Little 500 race. A field of 33 teams in each of the men's and women's race will compete. The men's race is 200 laps, which is 50 miles, and the women's race is 100 laps, which is 25 miles. The distance is split between 4 riders. With 10 race victories, Kappa Alpha Theta finished almost 4 seconds in front of second-place Teeter Cycling. They will look for their historic 3rd straight win that would make history as the first ever women's team to win 3 years in a row, while the Cutters are going to try to add to their 15 title win streak. The race will be held at Bill Armstrong Stadium here in Bloomington, Indiana on April 24th at 4 p.m. and the 25th at 2 p.m. Tickets are available through IUSF or IU Auditorium, and proceeds support student scholarships and Students Helping Students campaign.
All right, thanks, Kellen. For the latest on all things IU sports, be sure to tune in each week to Hoosier Sports Night. You can catch it on Thursdays on IUSTV.
All right, thanks, Julian. Although those golf scores were impressive, they're not quite as impressive as my Wii golf scores, so.
I personally was always better at bowling.
Oh, bowling. What did you like, Julian?
Listen, I was a big baseball guy, but that ruined my golf swing, so I don't think I'm going to be catching you guys on the Wii Sports anytime soon.
Still got you beat for now.
Yeah.
Well, Graham, what's the weather looking like? I know we mentioned Wii Sports, but can anyone go outside and play sports this weekend?
It depends on the day. I'll say that for sure. So if we take a look back at that 7-day forecast once again, you see going to be in the 80s today and tomorrow. Going to rain Thursday and rain Saturday, so those are a no. But you can definitely catch some times Friday or Sunday. And if you prefer cooler temps to do those kind of activities, I'd say get it done Sunday. That's going to be your best. That's going to be your best look. But that's what we're going to be seeing for the next 7 days. It's something, that's for sure.
Yeah, sounds interesting for the next coming week.
Right.
All right, thanks, Graham, and thank you for watching IUSTV News.
For updates between newscasts, check out IUSTV.com and make sure to follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and X. We're back here next week. See you then.